Hey guys, this is Ms. Suber. We are going to do a refresher video on a now 4-digit times 1-digit number. Again, this first box we just talk about using our words. We know this can say 4,539 times 8, but we also want to remember that 4,539 groups of 8. Groups of 8 is another way we can say that. The main part here is to remember that times can also mean groups of. Okay? Alright, we're going to start with the traditional strategy, also known as the standard algorithm way of multiplying. I'm going to set up my problem vertically, which means up and down. 4,539 times 8. I'm putting my 8 under my 9 because it's in the ones place. Okay. Now I'm going to do my multiplication. I'm going to take my 8 to the ones place. 8 times 9 is 72. I want to put my 2 down here, and I'm going to add my 7 up here. Okay. Let me zoom in so you can see this a little better. There we go. Alright, so I took my 8 to the ones place. 8 times 9 is 72. I put my ones place down here, my tens place up here to go with my tens place, okay? Now I'm finished with my 9. I can mark it out. Now I'm going to take the 8 to the 3. I know 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 7 more, so I can put 24 in my head and say 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So my ones place goes down here. I'm going to add a 3 to this place, the hundreds place. I've already taken my 8 to my 3, so I'm finished with my 3, and I'm finished with my plus 7 that was above it. So now I'm going to take my 8 to my hundreds place. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 3 more, 40, 41, 42, 43, that's 43. So I put my 3 down here, and I'm going to carry my 4 and add it to the thousands place. So I've already taken my 8 to my 5, and I multiplied and added the 3, so I can get rid of both of those. Now I've only got to take my 8 to the thousands place now. 8 times 4. Well, let's think about it. 8 times 4 is 32. But then we have a plus 4 here. So 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So I have my 6 down here. I would usually carry my tens place on over, but there's nothing there for me to add it to. So I just go ahead and write my 3 down here. Don't forget your comma. We always put a comma after you count over 3 digits. So 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, but there's no numbers, so we're done. We only need that 1 comma there. So my answer, and if you want to, you can mark this thousands place out to let you know you've already done it. My answer is 36,312. That is the traditional way of multiplying, or you might hear it be called the standard algorithm. Alright? Now we are going to move down to the distributive property way of multiplying. Hold on one second. Let me switch out my markers. Alright, we're going to use those same numbers. 4,539 times 8. And guys, you need to make sure you're studying your flashcards, because this number has some pretty large numbers like the 9 and the 8. Those are harder to sit there and do in your head, so you've got to memorize those flashcards to be able to do this longer multiplication problem. That's why we're asking you every week, every day that you're at home, practice your simple facts. Alright? So with distributive, I'm going to take my big number and break it apart. Okay, so if it helps you, you can label your place values. You can say, this is my thousands place, This is my hundreds place, my tens place, and my ones place. That way you know how much it's worth when you divide it out. So I know my fours in my thousands place, so I have 4,000. Alright. We can go ahead and distribute this 8 as we separate this big number. So 4,000. And remember, this 8's over here really lonely, so that 8's going to go to each section that I make. So 4,000 times 8. That 8's going to give them a big hug. Those are called parentheses, guys. That's just letting you know this is together. This is a group. Right? So I did my 4. Now my 5. It's in the hundreds place. Right? So I have 500. That 8's going to go visit it. 500 times 8 gives them a big hug. Okay, I did my 5, plus another group. My 3 is in the tens place, so it's worth 30. So 30, my 8's going to go visit it, times 8. Okay, now you see I'm kind of out of room, so I'm just going to write my next group down here. I'm not finished. I have to do my 9, which is in the ones place. I want to put a plus, and then my other group would be my 9, and then my 8's going to go visit it, times 8. Okay, so I have 4 different groups I'm going to have to multiply and figure out. Alright, so now that you have your sections divided up and the 8 has gone and visited each friend and given them a big hug, now you can go and do each group. You can go ahead and multiply each section. So this, I know 8 times 4 is 32, and I also have 3 zeros hanging on to the end of that 4, so I'm going to add my 3 zeros here. Okay, plus, I'm going to do this one next. I know 8 times 5 is 40, so I write 40, but I also have these 2 zeros there, so I have to attach the 2 zeros to the end. Plus, I'm going to do 30 times 8, my next group. I know 8 times 3 is 24, but look, I have another 0 I have to attach to the end. You can't forget to attach that 0. And then I'm not finished. I have this last group right here. Plus, I know 9 times 8 is 72. Okay? So now I've done all my groups. I've multiplied them all out. And now I have to add them all up. We can make ourselves a nice addition problem that is going up and down. I like starting with my biggest number on top so that they all line up. Make sure your numbers line up when you are adding, because if they are not in line, you can really mess up along the way. Alright. Okay, and I'm adding these. So, I know 0, 0, 0, and 2 is 2. I know 0, 0, I know 4 plus 7 is going to give me 11, so I'm going to put my 1 here, carry my 1 over here. 1, 0, 0, 2, 1 plus 2 I know is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then my 3 doesn't have anything to add to it, so I'm just going to bring it down here. Okay? So, again, I got my final answer is 36,312. Let's check that by going up here and look at our other strategy. Yes, 36,312. It matches. That means we did it right. We can check ourselves. Right? That's the distributive property strategy of multiplying. Now let's do our area model. Right, with area model, remember guys, you always start by drawing your box. And the bigger the number that you're multiplying by gets, the longer your box is going to need to be, so that you're not squishing stuff all over the place inside your box. Okay, we are doing the problem 4,539 times 8. So we know with our area model, we want to put the big, long number on the long length side of my shape. So 4,539. And I'm going to divide it so that they all have their own box. And then my little 8 gets to go on the small side of my box, so on the width side. Okay? And I like putting a little multiplication symbol right there because it's letting me know that my length is multiplied by my width, okay? Now, again, guys, you can label your place values just to help you remember what they're worth. This is the thousand spot, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. Alright, so we have our box labeled. Now we have to actually put our multiplication problems inside of the boxes. So my 4 is in the thousands place, so that's worth 4,000. And I'm multiplying it by 8 times 8. Okay? My 5 is in my hundreds place, so it's worth 500. And I'm multiplying it by 8. Each box is going to be multiplied by 8 every time if that's what your number is on this side. My 3 is in my tens place, so it's worth 30. And I'm going to multiply it by 8. And my 9 is in my one spot, so it's only worth 9. And I'm going to multiply it by 8. Now we get to do the math. Now we get to do the traditional way inside the boxes. So I'm going to say 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 4 is 32. I'm running out of space there. Right, so there's my first part of my answer. I've got to add all these answers up once I get them. So I'm not finished. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. There's another answer for a box. Don't forget your comma. Alright, 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 3 is 24. There's another one of my answers for my box. And then 8 times 9 is 72. There's another section's answer. Now I have to take all of these answers and add them together, just like I did over here. So you can kind of see where they are similar to each other, these two strategies. So I'm going to line them up. Make sure they are lined up properly, guys. If you don't line them up the right way, you could get your whole answer wrong after going through all these steps to get to your final answer. Right, 0, 0, 0, 2 is 2. I know 4 and 7, I don't have to worry about these zeros. 4 and 7 is 11. Add my 1 to the next place over. 2 and 1 is 3. Bring my comma down. 2 and 4 is 6. And bring my 3 down. 36,312. It matches. 36,312. Alright guys, that's the way you do your 3 different strategies when you are multiplying a 4-digit times a 1-digit number. If you have any further questions, please reach out to your teacher. Bye.